What is up, everybody? Cavanaugh! And welcome to Studio De Jeffrey, where it is time to talk about the things that have happened in the Cowboys universe, including Jerry Jones has done it again. I think that's 3 times now that the Cowboys draft board has been available for public consumption. Oh, which is kind of funny. We'll start there. Cowboys draft board is available. Our internet sleuths have gotten to the bottom of it. It's what they do. The internet can figure stuff out, man. The internet figures things out. So if what Jerry Jones was holding up on draft night is accurate, Tyler Smith, their pick at number 24, was their 16th rated player. They had one player rated ahead of him still available. That would be Lewis Seen, the safety from Georgia, who went number 32 to the Vikings. What's up, everybody? Vance there in the chat. The crawfish boil was lovely. I had a great time. Wet camera. We're geniuses, truly. Yeah, Cowboys are geniuses. Find me another team that's had their draft board on the internet 3 different years. And is it a big deal? Let's be clear. Let's be clear about this. Is it a big deal? No. I bet it's a minor annoyance to Will McClay, though. First round's over. There's like 4 guys on the piece of paper Jerry's holding up that still haven't been drafted yet. And the whole league is going to know how we got them ranked. Oh, yeah. So get in your Cowboy questions. And thank you, Kilgore. Welcome. I love you. You're currently my favorite person that's viewing this on YouTube, Kilgore. You're currently sitting in the one hole. Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. You can find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA, including the Mavs tonight. Let's go. And NHL playoffs. Hey, Stars, maybe try scoring a goal in your next outing. Baseball, fights, next season's NFL futures. And don't you forget, run to the Roses. It's on at Kentucky Derby. BetOnline, your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, live betting, favorite Vegas, casino, and poker games. Easy to get started. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to join. Use our promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Oh, shout out from an ICU bed. Look at you go, Dan. Love you. Well, Jeremy, you were my number one, but then Kilgore was in here, contributing to the pool fund. T. Sears is always in here, which we appreciate. So yeah, Cowboys board, they had Tyler Smith at number 16, which if that's the case, hey, guess what? According to their scouts and their own football team, it's a great pick. What worries me, and I wrote about this for D Magazine, what worries me a little bit is when teams have players ranked way off from the consensus, and Arif Hassan at The Athletic builds a consensus board every year. He takes all the different experts, he mashes all their rankings together, he gives you a consensus board. For the most part, there's an article in the New York Times on this a month or 2 ago. When something is considered a reach by the experts, it usually turns out that it indeed was. So we are hoping that the Cowboys are smarter than the experts and me and all those different things. And you know what? Very possible that the Cowboys are smarter than me. I have my doubts, but I suppose it's possible that the Cowboys are smarter than I am. And so I guess I wrote about this, and this is what we're going to do right now. Actually, let's start with that, Danny. Always appreciate your work from Vance. Any thoughts on the free agents they brought in? The Texas Tech kicker is probably going to be your kicker. He's good. The Boston College center is at least interesting to throw into a competition with Tyler Biadasz, Matt Farniok. That one's interesting. I'll have to get a list of them because there was at least one other one that I kind of like. Yeah, and so Lewis Seen. Cowboys have him ranked 13th. They picked Tyler Smith. I hate the way that NFL teams do their boards. I hate it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to say, okay, so the Cowboys had a safety on their board rated higher than the guy that they picked. And not only higher, but one was a first round grade. Tyler Smith was a second round grade, and you picked your second round player over your first round player. Why? Okay. I believe the answer to why is because despite the fact that Stephen Jones told us there was nothing that they must do in this draft, there was. They must find their left guard, and they knew that. And so that's what they picked. And if you view Tyler Smith as your future left tackle, which they do, left tackle is more valuable than safety, right? So that all makes sense. You can explain it to me. But then what I would have to ask you is this: hey, Cowboys, what if Lewis Cine was your number 4 overall player? Would you take that over your tackle, who's your 16th best player? And why don't you just put him in the order you'd pick him, especially in the first 20 or 30? Because obviously, yes, later you'll have guys who are close. You're going to pick for need and all that. And then you can kind of skip down your board a little bit if you need to. But your top 16 players, put them in the order you'd pick them. Because otherwise, you don't even know where they really are. Guys, our 13th best players available. We're at 24. We're going to take him. Well, we don't really need the safety that much. And that's Tyler Smith. Boy, we really like him. He can play guard and he could be our future tackle. Okay, so you want to pick the 16th best guy over the 13th best guy? Yeah, well, it's a position in need. Factor it in. Build it that way. Otherwise, you're just sitting there in a room going, well, the guy who's 13th isn't better than the guy who's 16th. Okay, what if it's the 22nd guy versus the 14th guy? Like, where would we actually pick him over him? You know, an easy way to figure out where you would pick him over him? By putting them in that order. Sorry. It's just so weird to me how teams build these boards. Marcus, do you think Linderbaum would have been the pick at 24 if he had position flex? They weren't. I don't think they were going to pick Tyler Linderbaum. Let me see. Was he even on their top 32 board that we got? Yeah, he was at 25th. Then sure. I guess they would have. Otherwise, you wouldn't put him there 25th. But I saw Will McClay talking about it, and he's talking about the different things that teams do and the reason that some teams would be in on certain players. I didn't mean to get emotional, Jesse. It just doesn't make any sense to me. A board should be built in the order that you will pick the players so that you don't have to have your position group or need debate while you're on the clock. Just put them in order. I mean, so silly. But anyway, let's go through the Cowboys draft. I wrote about this for D Magazine. Pick by pick, the who, what, when, where, why, right? Get all their draft picks pulled up. First round, obviously, they told us they didn't have any musts. That was a lie. They picked Tyler Smith, who they needed somebody to play left guard because they don't like Connor McGovern. So that was a need pick. According to them, it wasn't a reach. According to a lot of people, it was a reach. So we hope that we are wrong, the Cowboys are right. But Tyler Smith's fun, man. He's a really good starting point for an offensive lineman. Big, strong, nasty, athletic. That's a good starting point. The rest of it, you're going to have to build on. So you may have some growing pains early in the year, but he's the opposite of Connor Williams. Connor Williams was kind of light in the butt, and that's what got him in trouble. Tyler Smith is just not technically proficient for an NFL blocker yet, and so that's what gets him in trouble. They hope you can eliminate some of that by moving from tackle, where there's more space, to guard. Can you? Kind of. Totally? No, because things also happen quicker at guard. If I'm at left tackle and you're lined up out here and you're going to rush the passer, I also have more room and more time, right? It's harder because there's no one out here and there's more space to operate in, which could get you in trouble. When you move to guard, there's less space, but you're now right here. And so if I am not good with my hand placement, if I am not good with my technique, I just get in trouble faster. So will there be some growing pains? Maybe, hope not, but should be a guy that is definitely not going to get pushed around and can move people around. So that's good. Second round pick, Sam Williams, Ole Miss edge player. Here is my Sam Williams take. I had him graded as the end of the second round player, so I don't have a problem with where he was picked necessarily. My only problem with this one is this was the Tristan Hill pick. Tristan Hill, we knew the Cowboys were picking Tristan Hill in the second round. We knew he was going to be available, and we knew they were going to pick him before the draft started because they had telegraphed it. That was this year's Sam Williams, where after the first round, I told everybody on Twitter, who are they going to take tomorrow? Well, I'd love to see him take Sky Moore, George Pickens. Neither one of them made it. But I believe they're going to take Sam Williams. Why? Because they telegraphed it. It was a position of need-ish, and Dan Quinn loved him, and that's who they were picking at 56, no matter what. That's not good. That's not ideal process to go in when pick 33 is about to be taken to start the second round and already know who you're going to pick at 56. That's not a good process. It's just not. Edmund Sharp, thoughts on Story Jackson, Marquise Bell, Dontario Drummond. Thanks for the content to make it all make sense. Dontario Drummond's Ole Miss wide receiver. We'll see. Long shot to make the team. Marquise Bell is the safety. He ain't bad. He might be a wild card. He might be a guy coming after Donovan Wilson's job, but they got some guys in undrafted free agency. So, first round, to me, early. Second round, to me, maybe early, but bad process. Then you get to the third round, where the Dallas Cowboys select Jalen Tolbert, wide receiver, South Alabama. He was literally the player I would have picked in their spot there, so I love that pick. Jalen Tolbert fills a need. He plays a premium position, and he's a good player that made it to 88. Jalen Tolbert will come into training camp and compete with James Washington. Well, I guess Gallup probably won't be out there yet, so he'll start the season as a starter. And when Michael Gallup gets back, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Jalen Tolbert's your third receiver, not James Washington or Noah Brown or whoever. I love me some Jalen Tolbert. Good pick. Round 4, Jake Ferguson, tight end, Wisconsin. Fine. Now, again, process, a word we hate, process is we knew they were taking a tight end in the third or fourth round. We knew it before the draft. For a team that said they didn't have any musts, like Stephen Jones said, we don't have anything we must do. We all knew they were going to take a guy who was going to play left guard in the first or second round. We all knew there was going to be a tight end in the mid rounds, and we all knew Sam Williams was going to be picked in the second round. And you're telling me you didn't have any musts? Interesting. And Jake Ferguson's fine. I actually think he kind of reminds me of Dalton Schultz. He's not a great athlete. He's not going to run away from anybody. He probably needs to get a little stronger in terms of blocking, but he's willing. He's not bad at it. He's a reliable pass catcher. He's good against zone defenses. He's not going to really separate in man coverage. Jake Ferguson's fine. Might be your number 2 tight end. Nothing wrong with that. And I'm glad they didn't trade up. There are other tight ends in the fourth round that some people wanted to go up and get, like use a 5th round pick or a 5 and a 6 to move up and go get, say, K-Dot in Washington. I'm glad they didn't, because in the third day of the draft, most guys are misses, which this might sound contradictory. I don't know. But most guys are misses. If I have 4 5th round picks, well, if I use all 4 of them, I got a pretty decent shot at finding a hit. If I'm packaging them to move up on day 3 already, the odds that I'm trading up for the better tight end out of whoever you're going to pick from, 50-50, and you're giving away picks to do it? No, you roll with Jake Ferguson, and then you get to where I thought the Cowboys had a nice day, which was day 3 of the draft. Number 155 overall, Matt Waletzko, offensive tackle, North Dakota. What you do on day 3 of a draft, ladies and gentlemen? What you do on day 3 is you're picking traits. You're finding either a guy that you think, you know what, he's a really good player, but he's limited in some way, but I think he can make my team and contribute. Or you go the exact opposite direction, which is, I don't know that that guy could play for us in an NFL game right now, but if we develop him right, he could be something really good. Matt Waletzko is tall. He has arms that are literally 3 feet long, over 36-inch arms, and he's a good athlete. Really good starting point for an offensive tackle prospect. So they're taking a chance on traits with their first 5th round pick. Next, Deron Bland, corner, Fresno State. Ball production, really good size for a corner, really good athlete, forces fumbles. Most people had him graded as a free agent, but again, you're on day 3. If you have a guy that you like, you're like, dude, he's going to be a special teams demon, and he's the size we want, he's the athlete we want. What could we maybe turn him into? Cool. Nice dart to throw. Next, Damone Clark. So now we've gone traits, and this time we are going injured player, which if you got 4 shots at this, I support using one on the injured player. Damone Clark had spinal fusion surgery to relieve a herniated disc. He's an LSU linebacker. Would have gone maybe in the second, maybe in the third. But you get him with your third, 5th round pick because he might not play till the middle of this year. He might not play for his entire rookie season. We'll see. It just depends on how he comes back from major surgery. But late in the 5th round, sure, do that. Next round 5 guy, John Ridgeway, defensive tackle, Arkansas, who I heard him tell David Hellman when they were interviewing him that he wanted to break people's necks. John Ridgeway is a different kind of dart. Okay. We went traits, injured player. Now we're going player. This is one where he'll never be at defensive tackle, a pass rusher. He's never going to be like an explosive playmaking dude. He's going to bring his hard hat and his lunch pail, and he's going to go in there and slug it out with the big boys. That's what John Ridgeway is going to do. So that's a guy who's got a decent chance to make your team. And if he doesn't, he'll probably make somebody else's team as a rotational defensive lineman. So they went high floor on Ridgeway, high ceiling, high ceiling, high ceiling. They threw 3 different kinds of darts with their 4 5th round picks, and I like it. And then Devin Harper in the 6th round, Oklahoma State linebacker. What is Devin Harper? Great athlete. Same thing. You can be a special teamer. Can we develop you into a player who can contribute to the defense? We'll see. So that's the Cowboys draft. Day 3, I really, really liked. The 3rd round, I really liked. The 2nd round, I went, eh. And the 1st round, I went, eh. So hope to be wrong on the 1st round and see how it goes. But what are you guys up to? Enough about me. What are you guys up to out there? It's good to see you guys. I've been watching Better Call Saul. A lot of episodes I've been watching. A lot of episodes. I'm about done. I guess I did ask people for questions, but people also want not super long videos. So maybe I'll do those questions as a separate video. No pizza party. We didn't pick a pizza party guy for me. We didn't get me a pizza party guy. I wish we did. We didn't get me one. All right. Love you guys. I may do another video later answering some questions that people have sent in. Do you think the Mavs win tonight? No comment, but I hope so. I'll be at the bar pulling for them. This presentation brought to you by my friends at Bet Online, where the game starts. Remember, what audiobook do I need in my life? I have an extra credit. Too many options. I'd need to know a genre. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through.